Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a local provider of fiber optic-based internet, TV, and phone services. Smithville's quantum fiber optic network allows large amounts of data to travel around the world from local homes and businesses. More at smithville.net. Siam House, offering Thai fine dining and takeout, including stir fries, curry dishes, and banana fritters as featured in Bon Appetit. Lunch buffet 11 to 3 p.m. weekdays, corner of 4th and Dunn. IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. publichealth.indiana.edu. And WTIU members, thank you. Fall is a favorite around here at the weekly special, and nothing says autumn like enjoying the beautiful colors outside.
Absolutely, and tonight we're sharing some great destinations for you to enjoy across Indiana. We'll start by visiting an incredible blacksmith whose art can be seen across the country. Welcome Jessica Noonamaker to the studio for another small town suggestion. Travel to Huber's Winery to taste the only apple brandy made right here in Indiana. And welcome musical artist El Ion to the studio for another great performance. It's going to be a fun night.
That's right, so stay tuned for some wonderful destinations and stories from your own backyard.
Welcome to the weekly special. I'm Erica Sagon.
And I'm Darryl Neher. Erica, I can't believe how quickly this season is flying by. Have you been able to enjoy the fall season at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Just this weekend I went on a hike just to see the beautiful changing leaves before they all fall on the ground.
Nice.
And speaking of connecting with nature, our next expression segment features an artist whose designs are literally forged in fire. It's amazing. Check it out.
Blacksmithing is all about first having enough heat and then having enough force to shape it. There's a satisfaction in having created something that, to my eye is beautiful. I'm Jack Brubaker. I'm an artist blacksmith. Well, I've always been interested in the arts. I started selling ironwork within the first week that I'd been hammering and thought, maybe this is where I'm supposed to be. I started like that in 1970, and I've done nothing but blacksmithing ever since. I like that it's physical. I like that it's really work. Have the steel change form and become something in front of my eyes in relatively a few minutes. The idea of how you hammer out a piece, that it's just like working with clay or hot glass, that it's this soft material. It's just not as soft as those and takes a little more physical energy. Blacksmithing is all about getting the steel hot enough that you can work it plastically, that is, massage it like you would a piece of clay. There's always a fire, and then we have to be able to massage that metal when it's hot. So that means having an anvil under it to withstand the hammer blow, and then a hammer to hit down on the metal on the anvil. And what's happening is you're pinching it between. It's just as though you're hitting it from both sides when you have a heavy enough anvil. And that's what does the work. So there's lots of ways to shape it, and then lots of hand tools to further refine what happens. Having done something that's so physical, you actually feel like you've been somewhere and done something. If the piece has come out well and you watched it taking the form you want, there's a satisfaction in having created something that, to my eye is beautiful. And the whole point in the long run, to me, is to make something that somebody else will think is beautiful. The technique never ends, because I was real lucky. I came along at just the right time. I'm now at the point where I feel like I can really slow down and do the things I want to do, so that's encouraging. That we may stub our toe, we may make mistakes, but just keep going. Fail forward.
Wow, Eric, I love the force and physicality of the work that Jack does.
He's so talented, and
Really
you
is.
can see some of his incredible work at the Public Library in Brown County in Nashville. And if you'd like to see even more of Jack Brubaker's work, visit his website, jackbrubaker.com. You'll find photos plus information on the locations where his art is featured.
Well, and part of the fun with his work is seeing it in person. And while our next destination doesn't feature Jack, it does feature some incredible Hoosier artists. Jessica Nunemaker is here to tell us more in our latest Little Indiana.
Driving into Danville, well, you can't help but admire their adorable square and gorgeous Hendricks County Courthouse. But this small town is more than a pretty face. It's full of interesting shops and incredible restaurants. Today's featured Indiana town has no shortage of amazing mom and pop shops. It's hard to know where to begin with so many options. Let's dig into the tiny town of Danville. Gallery on the Square is a warm and welcoming artists' co-op right along the square. Photography of all kinds grace the walls. Woods, metals, jewelry, no matter what it is, there's probably a display of it here. But the artsy fun doesn't stop there. With a variety of workshops up for grabs, Gallery on the Square is an artsy hub. Those who are gifted with needle and thread will truly enjoy this next stop, Raiders Fabric. It's floor-to-ceiling bolts of fabric in all styles, textures, and colors. There's curtain rods and ribbons and lace and, well, I can barely handle sewing a button, so let's just say that this is really impressive. Need a gift? There's one place you need to go, Carla's Gifts and Creations. It's a charming shop and stuffed to the gills with gift options featuring local products as well as candy and gifts. You can purchase items singly, or you can have a clever, creative, and unique gift basket made to match any occasion. Confectionery Delights is really making a name for themselves with their creative chocolate creations. Can you say Victorian shoe? Yes, that is completely edible, and just one example of the type of clever confections you will find in this small town shop. This wouldn't be Little Indiana unless we packed in my favorite type of shop, a bakery. Bread Basket Bakery and Cafe is, well, does it get more cozy and comfortable than this local hangout? You will find gorgeous cakes and other baked goods. They are also known for their chicken salad sandwich. I've sampled quite the assortment here, and it's phenomenal. Want another option? The Porch of Danville Cafe and Books dishes out organic and homemade lunches. Surround yourself with man's other best friend, piles and shelves of books. Enjoy more than 40 varieties of loose-leaf tea from around the world as you sip from gorgeous teacups and catch up on a little reading too. Venture outside and across the street to Beasley's Orchard, home of amazing apple cider, a large selection of fruits and vegetables, and the site of events off and on throughout the year. In fact, Beasley's Orchard took first place in the 2013 Indiana State Cider Contest. Danville is so full of great small businesses that we haven't had a chance to cover the Mayberry Cafe. Its cozy digs are reminiscent of the old Andy Griffith Show. Combine that with other recent additions to Danville's downtown, and there's more than enough to keep you busy. Plan your next big adventure at www.littleindiana.com. Small towns, destinations, not drive-thrus. I'm Jessica Nunemaker, and this is Little Indiana.
So many fun places to visit. Thank you, Jessica. Well, Darryl, I got to go somewhere really cool recently.
Where did you get to go?
I went to Huber's Winery, Orchard, and Vineyards in southern Indiana. It's one of my favorite places to visit in the state, especially during the fall, because there's apple picking and pumpkin picking, and you can taste the wines and spirits that they distill right there in their tasting room. And it's really a must-see place during the fall. Let's check it out. We're here at Huber's Orchard, Winery, and Vineyard. It's also the home to Starlight Distillery, which makes Indiana's only apple brandy. Today, we're going to find out what exactly apple brandy is and how it's made. Let's go. We're here in the orchard with Dana, who is part of the Huber family. And Dana, this is a really exciting time at Huber's. Tell us all that's going on.
It is. It's a great time of year. It's one of our favorite seasons. We have apple picking, pick your own pumpkins, caramel apples, spiced apple wine, and certainly that's what we're traditionally known for, both our farming and our winery here in southern Indiana. But not many people know all the great things we have to do here.
Yes, it was like a fall wonderland when we drove in here. And people probably know Huber's for its wine. You guys make wonderful wine, but today we're here to talk about apple brandy, which is something that the Huber family has been distilling since 1840 when they settled on this very land that we're standing on right now. And all the apples in the apple brandy come from the Huber's orchard. And so what can you tell us about the orchard?
I can tell you it is all about tradition. These two 80-acre tracts were originally settled by our ancestors, and of course they were growing apples. And so we proudly carry on that heritage by producing our apple brandy. We have about 15 different varieties of apples, and depending on the ones that are selected by our master distillers, will tell us what we'll have in our apple brandy.
Okay, wonderful. And right now we're going to head into the distillery and we're going to see exactly how apple brandy is made. We're here with Jason, who is a distiller at Huber's. And Jason, I'm so curious how those apples that we saw in the orchard end up as apple brandy. So can you take us through the process a little bit?
Sure, the apples are pressed in the cider press. The juice is fermented into apple wine, and then we pump the apple wine into the still here.
All right, so this is the still. This is a magnificent piece of equipment. Tell us what it does.
Well, as we heat the wine up, alcohol has a lower boiling point than water, so we can boil off the alcohol. As the vapors rise up the column, water comes in to condense the vapors back into liquid form, which will then come out of the condenser here and out into this tank. At that point, it's clear apple brandy that's about 160 proof.
And that's too high of proof to drink, right?
Yes, well, I mean, comfortably. We will dilute that going into the barrel to about 115 to 120 proof. And then it will age for about 5 to 7 years before we will be ready to bottle it.
So what's going on in here is going to take some time before we get to sample it. And earlier you mentioned that what's in here is wine. So are you saying that it's actually starts out as apple wine?
Yes, any distillation, what creates the alcohol is fermentation. So you have to add yeast or allow the juice to ferment into wine, and then all the distillation is removing the alcohol from the fermented wine.
Okay, that's something I didn't know about brandy.
And here we have brandy coming out right now.
All right, look at that.
Here is some diluted apple brandy that we distilled earlier, and you notice it's still clear.
Yes, okay, but this is lower proof.
Lower proof,
Okay.
It's about 85 proof. I diluted it down.
Is there any tasting notes I should be looking for here?
You should get a little fresh apple.
I do.
You'll obviously get the flavor of the apple, and it may be a little bit young and harsh at this point, but
No, but you can still, this is not water.
yeah, not water.
But it's great, you can. It's not overly apple-y. It's not like drinking apple cider or
Right.
apple wine, but you do get a hint of sort of that crisp apple flavor. It's
Yes.
really nice.
And I'll get you a sample of something that's a little bit older.
All right. Right out of the barrel, look at this. How long has this been aging?
This is 3 years old.
And you said normally 4 to 7, so almost there.
Almost there, a couple more years
All
at
right,
least.
so
And
you
then,
can really see the difference in color. And again, the color in this one is coming from the char inside the barrel.
From the barrel, yeah.
Okay.
This is a heavy toast barrel. So
All right, and anything I should be looking
you'll
for in
notice
this one?
a lot more wood notes
Yes.
and a caramelization of the sugars in the wood gives the color and some flavor and aroma as
Wow.
well.
It's already really smooth even though it has some time to go.
And that's still about 115 proof.
Okay, so we can't have too much of this.
Right.
Well, Jason, thank you so much for showing us how those beautiful apples from the orchard become apple brandy. I found it really fascinating, and I'm going to head up to the tasting room now to sample an apple brandy that's fully aged. Well, we've had a great time here at Huber's, and who knew that you could take these beautiful apples from the orchard and turn it into something delicious to drink like apple brandy. Well, Darryl, didn't that look like a lot of fun?
It really did.
And if you go online, you can see an extended interview with Ted Huber, who's the 6th generation co-owner of Huber's. And we were fortunate enough to bring back
Yeah, you brought back a present.
Yeah, it's called Applejack. So this is just a variety of apple brandy that Huber's distills down at Starlight.
So do you drink this like bourbon, scotch? How do you consume
Yeah,
it?
it's similar to bourbon and scotch in that you can drink it neat, which is just plain. So why don't you go ahead and try some?
All right, here we go.
Cheers.
Cheers.
It's delicious, isn't it? And you can also mix it into cocktails. So you can mix it with an apple cider or Diet Coke. And if you'd like to try the apple brandy yourself, Huber's will be having its fall festival throughout October. Visit their website for details and directions, huberwinery.com. Well, this may be the ultimate fall drink, but our next story features what may be the best way to view fall.
Absolutely. We had the opportunity to attend the first annual Indiana Balloon Festival. From the surprising shapes to the synchronized night glow, it was a weekend to remember. It's rare to see a hot air balloon, but 15 all at once? It all took place at the first ever Bloomington Balloon Festival, much to the delight of local balloonist and pilot Andy Richardson.
Being involved in ballooning full time, I couldn't resist and say yes. And it's turned out to be an awesome event, awesome weather. We've got our special shape balloons here. We've got 14 other standard balloons. We've got a large line down at the tether balloon that are taking passengers up and down to give them a little taste of what ballooning's really like. Everybody's out here with a smile, and it's been a great time. Oh, I can't believe the looks on everybody's faces when they see the two shapes. It's pretty cool to see how everybody looks at them.
I think it's a lot of fun. It's a totally different experience actually seeing the balloons get blown up and leave the ground.
The profits and proceeds from the entire event are going to go to Riley Children's Hospital and the Boys and Girls Club. So what we're doing is we're putting on a community event for people to come out, have a great evening with friends and family, enjoy great music, and then the profits of that are going to charitable foundations.
The event is a rare opportunity for the area's pilots to come together. As pilot Paul Felty notes, meeting fellow balloon hobbyists can be difficult.
It's an older form of flight that a lot of people don't do. There's only 2,500 registered pilots in the U.S., so there's not very many people that do it around here, 10, 15 people. It's a great family. All of us balloon people are close-knit, and so it's nice to see friends and family again.
And for Andy, it's been a wonderful opportunity for the community at large.
This is my hometown, and I grew up here, and I love Bloomington. It's a beautiful community, a great place to live. And I also love ballooning, and to have those two together for me is a great experience. We've had great support from the community, a lot of great sponsors, great balloon pilots showing up to make it a great event. So ideally, every year in September, we would like to have an annual balloon event.
He loves hot air balloons. I don't think he was prepared for how big they actually are. But he was very excited to know that he could ride on a balloon and see them all go up in the sky.
I remember as a kid growing up myself, Bill Oliver was the one that really got me hooked on ballooning. He was the first balloon pilot in the area. And I remember as a young kid coming out to the fairgrounds in the early 90s. And Bill invited me to go on my first ride. And if it hadn't have been for that, I don't know if I ever would have found the love for ballooning. So hopefully I can maybe pass that on to somebody someday.
All right, Erica, next year we're going up.
Oh, I'd love that.
Keep up with the latest information on next year's activities by visiting balloonfest.com.
I can't imagine what a night glow would look like synchronized to our next artist. We are very excited to introduce El Ion.
People can identify with how you would identify with that music. They have a preconception of what hip-hop music should be. For me, I just feel like music in general is an art. It's an artistic form. I started writing poetry actually, and my whole background never was really in hip-hop. When I finally did start to get introduced to hip-hop, I was intrigued a little bit. I started to hear some messages that resonated a little bit more with me. I was able to realize that there was an avenue for my poetry, and that's where it really began. I was going through a lot of hard times with society and classism. I felt a lot of pressure to be accepted by my peers. and I was frustrated to not be able to do some of those things, to not be on the same level as the popular kids. That is what a lot of my poetry was about. It was about my own internal struggle with finding out my place in the world and where I belonged. Even though I might not have had everything in the world, I was very rich in love. The hip-hop thing came about. I knew my conviction into my words was real and that I had something to tell people. Through the poetry, through the rhythm, through the beats, I was able to show my art. I was able to show where I was from. That was great, you know, but it was hard at first. When it came time to actually get on stage, I was terrified. Being from Indiana, Bloomington, Indiana, it gets hard, especially when you're gonna try to do hip-hop music and people look at you a little funny. So once I heard the first cheers and the hands raised, I was hooked. And from there, I haven't stopped. It's where I'm the most happy. It's where I find joy. It's where I feel like I belong in a lot of ways, because I want to express what people that go through the same struggles I have, or even worse, I want to be their voice. A lot of the new music that I'm putting out, it all comes from personal experience. They're all similes and metaphors, and that's what I think makes it so easy to relate to. But it's about a struggle to keep on, to keep moving. I feel like that's a pretty universal story, and I want to continue to grow, and I want to continue to rise out of these hard times to show that life can be beautiful.
And now, L. Ion.
Yeah. 1, 2. My man Philmatic helping me out. Time to catch the bus. Ground stay rising. I've been to the place where the lights are, blacked out in the corner of a dark bar, with my hoodie up, it's just to hide my face, to scar my soul, to hide disgrace, and fall far from grace, to fall out the pace, fall out the line, to fall out the race. Hard to taste the truth when you look in the mirror, it's hard to face the facts when you're choking on fear, near to completion, human deletion, eye for an eye, and I'm choking policemen. Release me, I'm a victim of circumstance, I'm in the just cause of many praying hands. Second glance is the good, it's the first one. Criminal, I never heard, I never bust guns. No trust funds, never trust funds. Need a ride, I'ma catch it when the bus comes. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, we got to see it. Come on, take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, I hope we'll see. Man, I hope we'll see. Man, got to see. Got my friends, got my family on my backside. Flip the board on my grind like a dark slide. From the dark side, so pick a side of the moon. And show down high noon outside the saloon. All doom, all gloom, take a smile away. All bets get placed, getting high today. Gotta hide away, gotta fly away. See the future from a mile away. What can I say? Guess I can't cause I'm speechless. Dodge the arm of the wall when it reaches. Preacher preaches, break the soapbox to tell the truth to all. How all hope's lost. All hope's lost like a broken record. .50 caliber flow for weapon. .50 when I split a second. Miss the bus, you better get to stepping. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, we got to see it. Come on, take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, I hope we'll see. Man, I hope we'll see. Man, we got to see. I know I had a rough, tough times growing up. Hard knocks, beat drops, I'm sick, I throw up. Sure to show up, get forced to grow up. Stuck at the crossroads, like now what? Now shadow dark force, breathe beams of light. Tiptoeing the line, but in the middle of night. In the middle despite, was avoiding the fight. Resist your control with the thrust of a knife. Move much right till there's no ink left. Hard times in the world will some will choose death. Me, I choose breath, so believe in the light. Gotta rhyme in the more, cause I'm killing the mic. Cause I'm killing the light, they live in the dark. Quiet when you talk, don't you mention the spark. Mention the arc and the voltage conversion. Playing as a hand, the boss of the version. Take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, we got to see it. Come on, take a ride with me. Take a ride with me. On the bus we'll see. On the bus we'll see. Man, we got to see. Man, we got to see. Man, I hope we'll see. So come on.
Guys, that was great. Thank you.
Yeah, I loved that. Great job, guys.
Thanks.
You can hear more of Lucas's music at his website, lion.bandcamp.com.
And of course, visit our website and Facebook page for links to his full performances plus bonus videos.
And we want to thank you for joining us tonight on the weekly special.
Yep, that's all the time we've got, but one more time, Lion.
Yeah. Ground State Rising. It's been a long time coming. Yes, it has. Filmatic. Ion. Yeah. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Listen hard, you can hear the beat from the drumming. Listen to your heart, man, listen to it thumping. Take a look around, it's been a long time coming. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. Listen hard, you can hear the beat from the drumming. Listen to your heart, listen hard, hear it thumping. Listen hard, listen hard, hear it thumping. Yo, my eyesight is blind, but my hindsight is 20/20.
Production support for the weekly special is provided by Smithville, a local provider of fiber optic-based internet, TV, and phone services. Smithville's quantum fiber optic network allows large amounts of data to travel around the world from local homes and businesses. More at smithville.net. Siam House, offering Thai fine dining and takeout, including stir fries, curry dishes, and banana fritters as featured in Bon Appetit. Lunch buffet 11 to 3 p.m. weekdays, corner of 4th and Dunn. IU School of Public Health Bloomington, addressing public health needs by preventing disease, promoting health, and improving quality of life across the state and around the world through research, teaching, and community engagement. publichealth.indiana.edu. And WTIU members, thank you.